day everyone, we are the Group 2 and today we will be your reporters. Our topic is all about artists and artisans. Before that, here's the objectives. First is outline the history of the emergence of artists and artisans. Recognize and critically discuss the function of state sponsorship in the field of arts and cultures, particularly through the National Artist Award and the Gawad sa Manlilikha ng Bayan or GAMABA. Third is identify and define the different individuals and groups who play varied roles in the world of art and culture. Lastly, classify the practices of artists according to form, medium, and technique. Here's the introduction. Art has always been a mirror of human life, from the earliest cave paintings to today's digital masterpiece. Artists have used colors, shapes, and symbols to tell stories, express emotions, and record history. Each of art period reflects the values, beliefs, and discoveries of the time it was created. In this lesson, we will travel through time to explore how art has changed from prehistoric drawings on stone walls to the grandeur of the Renaissance, to the bold experiments of modernism, and finally, to the diverse and global styles of contemporary. So, artists and artisans. The study of art in the modern era reveals that in the face of rapid technological advancement and automation, creativity and imagination remain the most essential human qualities that machines cannot replace. As Robert Henry stated, art is simply about doing anything well. It is about a self-expressing creator, becoming inventive, searching, daring, and self-expressing to gain a better understanding of the world. The impulse for art is rooted in human nature, with early examples like cave paintings and structures such as Stonehenge used to give form to ideas and belief systems. Throughout history, art has evolved from serving ritualistic purposes to becoming a medium for communication and social expression. In the current post-capitalist society, artists are recognized as integral drivers and a vital part of a knowledge-based economy. Continuing the tradition of creative expression, the overall goal of this lesson is to outline this history. Recognize the role of state-sponsored awards like the National Artist Award and GAMABA, and classify artistic practices based on form, medium, and techniques. So, artists and artisans is ang pag-aaral ng sining sa modernong panahon ay nagpapakita na sa harap ng mabilis na teknolohikal na pag-unlad at globalisasyon, mayroong tatlong katangian na hindi pa rin mapapalitan ng makina: ang non-material na kalidad, pagkamalikhain or creativity, at imagination or imagination. Ang mga ito ang natiling pinaka-esensyal na sangkap ng sining. Ayon sa artist na si Robert Henry, ang sining ay tungkol sa anumang bagay na ginagawa natin ng mahusay. Ito ay isang aktibong proseso ng paglugad, pagtuklas, at pagpapahayag sa sarili upang mas lalong maunawaan is artist. The artist is typically associated with fine arts and is primarily driven by the conceptualization and expression of ideas, emotions, and personal vision. The final product is often unique, non-utilitarian, and valued for its aesthetic or intellectual depth. Their focus is on challenging perceptions, provoking thought, or creating a unique, self-expressive piece. So, ang artist ay karaniwang So, ang kanilang layunin ay hamunin ng mga pananaw ng mga tao, magbigay ng pananaw o lumikha na isang natatangi at self-expressive na piraso. Halimbawa, isang abstract na painting o isang malaking sining na nagpapahiwatig ng political na ideya. So, artisans. The artisans, on the other hand, is a skilled worker who makes things by hand that are functional or decorative. They are masters of a specific craft and create objects that often have utilitarian purpose while still possessing high aesthetic value. Their work is characterized by technical excellence and mastery of a particular medium or technique, such as weaving, jewelry making, or carpentry. The value of an artisan's work is often rooted in the skill and time required to execute the craft perfectly. So, ang artisan sa kabilang banda ay isang skilled worker or sanay na manggagawa na gumagawa ng mga bagay na gamit ang kamay. Ang kanilang mga gawa ay karaniwang may utilitarian, may gamit o decorative or palamuti na layunin, bagamat nagtataglay pa rin ito ng aesthetic value. So, sa madaling salita, ang artist ay nagpapahayag ng ideya at gumagawa ng sining na natatangi at nakatuon sa konsepto, while the artisan naman ay nagpapakita ng technical na husay at gumagawa ng sining na may practical na gamit.
Good day everyone, my name is Renaline Jane Aismil. I will discuss my report is all about the artisan and the guild. What is artisan and guild? An artisan is skilled work who makes the things by hands. Ang artisan ay isang bihasang manggagawa na gumagawa ng mga gamit ang kamay. Marunong sila sa isang partikular na uri na craft and manshape, daya ng pag-ukit, paggagawa ng alahas, furniture, pottery, at iba pa. A guild or guild is an association of artisans and merchants who obsess the practice. Next, have you ever wondered why some examples of artists and creative productions have survived to this day? Museums are packed and humor, artifacts, and interesting objects from all over the world that have survived the security for us all to see. Magnificent, to struck that are often appreciated not only for their historical significance but more so their artistic and creative. So, sa museum, ang museum ay puno ng iba't ibang artifacts at mga bagay na magaling sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo. Kahit daang-daan taon na ang makalipas, manatili pa rin sila kaya na napahalagahan hanggang ngayon. Maraming istatura at likhang singhi ang hindi lang hinahangad dahil sa kasanayan nila, kundi dahil maganda at kakaiba ang disenyo o hitsura nila. Master Mason o Gerard Lee. He is the started project in 1248 but was the complete proudly 600 years later, claiming the records has won the longest constructions productions today. Sa Collegian Cathedral, for example, ito ang pinakamataas na simbahan na may dalawang tore o twin spire sa buong mundo. Dati itong ginagamit bilang landmark o gaya sa paglalakbay dahil madaling makita mula sa malayo. Tungkol kay Master Mason Gerard Lee, siya ang unang nagsimula ng ito noong 1248 matapos ang simbahan halos sa 600 na taon ang pagkatapos kaya ito ay isang pinakamamatagal na construction o production sa kasaysayan dahil sa tagal ng paggagawa na pinagsasamahan ng iba't ibang henerasyon ang artisan at builders. The Gothic cathedrals are the religious buildings created in the Europe between the mid-12th centuries and beginning of the 16th century. The cathedral are notable particularly for their great height and there are excessive use of the stained glass to fill the interiors with light. Ang mga Gothic cathedral ay mga gusali pangrelihiyon na itinayo sa Europe mula kalagitnaan ng ika-1 at 2 siglo hanggang sa simula ika-16 na siglo. Katangian mataas na estatura, kilala ang mga ito sa kanilang matatayo na taas. Stained gumamit ng malaking bintana na may stained glass upang puniin ang loob ng liwanag. Halimbawa, ang Collegian o Cathedral na German ay isang halimbawa ng Gothic o Cathedral. Next, this is the guild was prevalent during the Middle Ages, particularly during the 13th to 15th century, where towns had formalized groups and artisans and craftsmen forged on particularly specializations or trade. Ang guild ay tinutulungan sa larawan ay laganap noong Middle Age o partikular na noong ika-13 hanggang ika-15 na siglo. Sa panahong ito, formal na binuo ang bayan, ang mga grupo ng mga artisan o craftsman na nagkakalubhasa sa isang partikular na kasanayan o kakalakalan. That's all and thank you.
Good morning, sir and classmates. I'm Jennifer M. Puentes from the Group 2 and today I will discuss my topic about the artist in his studio. First is the historical shift in Europe. During Middle Age, artists were generally regarded as simple craftsmen who executed works mainly for religious purposes and often remained anonymous. Their creations were typically unseen and considered collaborative workshop efforts rather than individual achievements. However, in Renaissance, this perception shifted significantly. Artists began to be recognized as independent creators with personal vision, originality. Art expanded beyond solely religious themes to include secular subjects, reflecting a broader range of human experience and emotion. Artists, their works asserting their authorship and individuality. So this period marked the beginning of artists being respected as independent and original individuals. Next is the Industrial Revolution. This period brought a significant changes for artists by introducing new materials and tools. One of the key inventions was the foldable easel, also known as French box easel, which is lightweight, portable, and telescope legs often include a built-in pallet box, making it easy for artists to carry everything they need while painting outdoors. Along with the paint tubes, which is preserved paint and made it too easy to carry colors, so those tools are allowed artists to leave their studios and paint nature or everyday scenes. What is role of studio? Artist studio was a place for creating and experimenting with art. It where is artists work on their paintings and sculpture, developing new ideas, techniques. Beside being creative workshop, it was a place where artists met patrons. They are the wealthy clients, means the artist created a piece of art, then the person who commissioned
the artwork is called patron, that pays artists to make painting, religious artwork for churches, portraits to display personal or family prestige. There are two types of spaces. First is the studiolo or studio, it where the artist could create a plan and work on their ideas or personal projects. The second is the bottega or workshops. The bottega is a workshop where the master artists work apprentices and assistants. It's a place focused training young artists and producing commission works. So apprentices learn by helping the masters such as preparing materials, copying of drawings, and paintings. Let's proceed the other players of the world of art. Studio manager helps the artist in daily tasks such as organizing the studio, preparing materials, and assisting in the creative process. It's like the right-hand person making sure the paintings, brushes, and canvas are ready and even helping the artist brainstorm, set up for projects. Storage manager responsible for organizing, preserving, and managing the storage of artworks to ensure they are kept in optimal condition. So think of a museum storage room carefully where the paintings keep the storage manager arrange the artwork carefully. Collector acquires and owns artworks for personal or institutional collection, often influencing the art market by their purchasing decision. Studio assistant supports artists by assisting with the administrative duties, preparing materials, maintaining the studio, help artists by doing everyday tasks like organizing paperwork, cleaning brushes, or setting up materials before work starts. Gallery assistants help with the operation of an art gallery, including setting up exhibition, assisting visitors, handling sales, and other administrative tasks. So this person helps set up exhibition, talk to the visitors about the art processes, sales, and handles day-to-day tasks. Art handler specializes in the safe handling, packing, transportation, and installation of artworks to prevent damage. Example is when a big sculpture or painting needs to be moved safely, the art handler carefully packs, transport, and install. Artist, the creator of original artworks using various media and techniques to express their ideas, emotion through art, using their own skills and imagination. Art fair director plans and manage all aspects of art fair, including logistic, marketing, partnership, and visitor experience to ensure the successful event. Organizer the art event where the artists' galleries come to show and sell their work. Gallery director. This person leads a gallery's strategic and operational function, including curating, exhibition, managing staff, sales, and artist relationships. Gallery owner. Like the person who owns and operates a gallery business, they decide what kind of art to promote, manage finances, and support the artists represented by their gallery. Art advisor. Trusted expert who help clients choose, buy, and manage art collection. They provide advice on art investment, authenticity, value, and how display and care for artworks. Curator. Person who selects artwork and organizes artworks for exhibition, researches their history and meaning, and shares stories to help visitors understand and appreciate the art. Critic. This person analyzes and evaluates artworks and exhibition, writing reviews that shape what the public and experts think about the artworks. Museum press officers handles communication with media and public relations to promote museum exhibition and events. Museum educator design programs and materials that teach visitors about art, making their museum visit more engaging and informative. Museum Director runs the whole museum, overseeing staff planning, exhibition, ensuring all departments working together. And the last, Museum Board Member, part of the group, advise, support the museum leadership with planning, financial decision, and community. Thank you for watching this video. I hope the explanation helped you understand my topic about the artist and his studio.
Hello everyone. So ako na topic makara is production process. Production process, the creation of artwork does not follow a straight linear progression. Art is defined by its anarchic dimension, which means there is no single rigid rule. This flexibility allows artists to maximize their creative potential and is the main reason why countless different art styles, periods, and the movements have been possible throughout history. While flexible, the process still has general principles that guide its creation. So, the production process is ang pangkalahatang proseso kung paano ginagawa ang isang sining. Pero hindi ito kasing simple ng isang recipe o hakbang-hakbang na gabay. Ang production process ay ang flexible na paraan kung paano nagiging sining ang ideya, kung saan ang kalayaan sa paglikha ay mas pinahalagahan kaysa sa pagsunod sa mahigpit na batas. So, may tatlong main stages its process. So, the first is pre-production, second, production, third is post-production. Una is pre-production. This is the initial stage where the artist develops the idea or concept they wish to communicate. It involves research and may require time or resources to fully explore the concept. Gathering and sourcing materials needed for the artwork always happens here. So, sa pre-production, side nyo man siguro kung alin na ibig sabihin ng pre-production. Sa pre-production is, pagpaplano. Paunang yugto kung saan binubuo ng artista ang ideya o konsepto. Kasama rito ang pananaliksik at pagtitipon or pagkuha ng mga materyales. Second is production. This is the stage of execution where the idea is brought to life through the manipulation of materials. This can take various forms such as painting, sculpture, photography, film, or music. It requires a combination of intuition and skill execution. So, sa production is di karong pagsasagawa or paglikha. Ang yugto ng execution kung saan ang ideya ay binibigyang buhay sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng materyales. Halimbawa kara is pagpipinta, iskultura, or pelikula. Kailangan dito ang kombinasyon ng intuition and skill execution. The third is post-production. This is the final stage that happens after the work is finished. It includes allowing the artwork to set, tweaking it, and preparing for transport and display. It also covers the promotion and inclusion of the artwork in publication or discussion. Sa post-production is di karagon ng final paghahanda ang huling yugto matapos ang gawa. Kasama rito ang pagsasaayos or tweaking. Tweaking is pagsasaayos, paghahanda para sa display at transportation, a promotion or publication or discussion. So, thank you everyone for listening.
So, good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon, sir. So, today I will discuss my topic, which is all about medium and techniques. Medium. Medium is one of the aspects of art that directly correlates with its composition and presumed finality of the artwork. Medium is the mode of expression in which the concept, ideas, or message is conveyed. It may be concrete or tangible, such as painting, sculptures, monuments, and structures, or it may be ephemeral or something transit, such as a track record of sound, a film, or a performance. So, ang medium o method ay isang mahalagang bahagi at art nga nag-uugnay or correlates as a composition, ag ninanais or presume nga epekto at likhang sining. Ito ang paraan ng pagpapahayag ng ideya, konsepto o mensahe. Pwede ito na konkreto or nahahawakan. Parehas it pintura, sculpture, monument at estruktura o mari itong pansamantala tulad ng musika, pelikula or pagtatanghal. Ang pagpapahalaga o pakikipag-ugnayan sa likhang sining ay nakasalalay sa method o medium, oras at espasyo. Ang mga konkretong obra ay nakikita at tumatagal, samantala sa ephemeral works, ito ay pansamantalang likha at may limitadong panahon lamang. So, concrete works is dayarong mga bagay na tumatagal. For example is building, sculptures, and monuments. While sa ephemeral works, dahil mga arts nga pansamantala. For example, kara is street art like chalk drawing. Hindi dapat inaasahan na magbubunga ng parehong resulta ang isang piniling medium o method. For example, kung bibigyan ang dalawang magkaibang artist ng parehong materyales at tema, ay magkakaroon pa rin ng pagkakaibang output o resulta. Depende sa teknik na ginagamit. At dito nakasalalay ang pagkakaiba-iba ng obra sa kasaysayan ng sine. Next is the technique. The technique of the artwork shows the level of familiarity with the medium being manipulated. It alludes to the necessity of additional tools or implements. Example is hammer and chisel may come handy for sculpture or consideration of time and specificity of the site of creation. So, ang technique na isang artist ay nagpapakita ng antas ng pagkakabihasa sa method o medium na kanilang ginagamit. Ito ay nagmumungkahi ng pangangailangan ng mga karagdagang kasangkapan o kagamitan, tulad ng martilyo at chisel, na maaring makatulong sa mga sculpture o manggagawa, at pagsaalang-alang sa oras at lugar ng paglilikha. So next is engaging with art. The defining rules and nature of exhibition have an interesting evolution, changing alongside the demands to the society, the purports to partake in its display. In Anna Celine's The Evolving Role of the Exhibition and Its Impact on Art and Culture, 2012, she wrote that exhibition acts as the catalyst of arts and ideas to the public. So, ang exhibition ng sining ay nag-e-evolve kasabay ng pagbabago sa lipunan. Ayon kay Anna Celine 2012, ang exhibition ay nagsisilbing tulay sa pagitan ng sining at publiko. Layunin nitong panatilihin ang kaugnayan ng sining sa lipunan at sa iba't ibang audience. Kaya mahalaga ang exhibition hindi lamang sa mga artists, kundi pati na rin sa mga manonood na nakikita nito. So, lastly is, in Paula Marincola's What Makes a Great Exhibition 2006, it reads that exhibitions are strategically located at the niches where artists, their works, the arts institution, and many different public intersect. So, ayon kay Paula Marincola 2006, Ang mga exhibition ay nasa gitna ng artist ang kanilang mga obra o likha sa institusyon ng sining. Ang exhibition sa museo or galleries ay isa sa pinakakaraniwang paraan upang makita ang isang sining. Sa kasalukuyan, may mga bagong espasyo na nagbibigay oportunidad sa mga artists na ipakita ang kanilang mga likha. For example, sa internet or any social media, any social media or sa mga forums o sa mga web. So, ang exhibition ay maaring magtagal o pansamantala lamang. Ang isang artist ay maaring magkaroon ng solong exhibition o maaring may mga kasamang iba. Bukod sa exhibition, may mga iba pang paraan upang makipag-ugnayan sa sining. For example is pagbisita sa studio o museo at mga seminars. Ang mga publication ay nakakatulong din upang maipakilala ang sining sa mas maraming tao. And that's all. Thank you. I hope may na-learn ka mo about sa medium and technique.
Good day everyone. We are going to talk about awards and citation. Today, we're going to talk about how society formally recognize its greatest artists. Think of awards in the arts not just as trophies, but as a crucial support system that validate a life dedicated to creativity. So why do we even have these awards? It goes much deeper than just giving someone a prize. First, they honor a lifetime of work. An artist's path is often unstable and financially uncertain. Awards provide both public honor and, very importantly, tangible incentives like cash, prize, and pensions. This financial support allows artists to focus on their craft without constant financial worry. Second, they act as a cultural seal of approval. By recognizing an artist, that state is essentially saying this person's work is vital to our national identity. It's a way for a country to be defined its cultural legacy, telling present and future generations. This is the art that represents who we are. In short, these awards bridge the gap between the artist's solitary world and the broader society, ensuring that cultural excellence is celebrated, supported, and remembered. The Philippines has two of the most prestigious awards that serve these exact purposes. They are like the pinnacle of artist career here in our country. First, the Order of National Artists. This is the highest honor you can receive as a Filipino artist. It's often described as the Hall of Fame for Philippine arts. It's cover what we often call the fine or modern arts, fields like visual arts, literature, film, and architecture. The first awardee, Fernando Amorsolo, in 1972, set the standard. He was a painter famous for his iconic landscapes and use of light, making him a foundational figure in Philippine art history. The privileges are significant and show how much the country values its artists. The monthly pension and life insurance provide lifelong security. But perhaps the most profound honor is the burial at the libingan ng mga bayani. This isn't just a perk, it's a powerful statement that artists are considered national heroes whose contributions to culture are as vital to the nation as those
of soldiers or statesmen. Second, the Gamaba or National Living Treasures Award. Now, while the Order of National Artists focuses on the modern and the individual genius, the Gamaba has a different equality, crucial mission, cultural preservation. This award isn't for painters in a studio or novelists. It's for the masters of traditional folk arts, the weavers, the epic chanters, the tribal musician, the wood carvers. Its primary goal is to safeguard our intangible cultural heritage. This means the skills, knowledge, and traditions that are passed down orally or through practice, things that can be lost forever if not actively preserved. So, while a national artist might be recognized for pushing culture forward, a Gamaba awardee is honored for keeping our Asian cultural roots alive. They are living libraries of Filipino tradition. So that's my report. Thank you for listening.
Good day everyone! My name is Aina Nicole V. Nemis and today I will be reporting about the Gamaba artist. So first, what is the Gamaba means? Gamaba or the Gawad sa Manlilikha ng Bayan or the National Living Treasure Award was created in 1992 under the Republic Act No. 7335. So ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng Gamaba? The Gamaba or the Gawad sa Manlilikha ng Bayan or the National Living Treasure Award was created in 1992 under the Republic Act No. 7355. Ito ay batas na ginawa para kilalanin at protektahan ang mga Pilipinong may kakaibang talento sa tradisyonal na sining. Mahalaga ito kasi marami sa ating indigenous arts ang nanganganib mawala dahil sa modernisasyon. Also, under the jurisdiction of the National Commission for Culture and Arts or NCCA, the NCCA 2015 states that through the Gawad sa Manlilikha ng Bayan Committee and an ad hoc panel of experts, the NCCA conducts the search for the finest traditional artists of the land, adopts a program that will ensure the transfer of their skills to others, and undertakes measures to promote a genuine appreciation and instill pride among our people about the genius of the Manlilikha ng Bayan. Ibig sabihin, may proseso ang pagpili ng mga awardees. Hindi lang sila basta magaling, kundi dapat may malinaw na paraan kung paano nila ipapasa ang kanilang kaalaman sa susunod na mga henerasyon. It was first conferred to the three outstanding artists in music and poetry back in 1993. They are Ginaw Bilog, a master of the Ambahan poetry, Masino Intaray, a master of the various traditional music instrument of the Palawan people, and Samaon Sulaiman, a master of the Kutyapi and other instruments. Sila ang unang tatlong nakatanggap ng Gamaba para bang silang pioneers sa pagkakilala sa mga traditional artists ng Pilipinas. Now, let us take a closer look at the first three awardees. The first one is Ginaw Bilog. Ginaw Bilog, a master of the Ambahan poetry. Most treasured of his collection are those inherited from his father and grandfather, sources of inspiration and guidance for his creative endeavors. To this day, Ginaw shares old and new ambahans with his fellow Mangyans and promote this poetic form in every occasion. Ang ambahan ay isang uri ng oral poetry ng mga Mangyan na karaniwang walang musical accompaniment. Para siyang tula na naglalaman ng mga payo, aral at damdamin ng isang tao. The next one is Masino Intaray. Masino Intaray, a master of various traditional musical instruments of the Palawan people. Masino Intaray was a Filipino poet, bard artist, and a musician who is a Palawan native known for his performance of the local traditional of Basal, Kulilal, and Bagit. He is also a recipient of the National Living Treasure Recognition. Ang basal ay ang pagtugtog ng percussion instrument para sa community gatherings. Ang kulilal naman ay isang love song, habang ang bagit ay isang instrumental pieces na ginagaya ang tunog ng kalikasan. Kaya't makikita natin na si Masino ay hindi lang isang musikero, isa ring living archive ng kulturang Palawan. The third one is sa Maon Sulaiman, a master of the Kutyapi and other instrument. Sa Maon Sulaiman achieved the highest level of excellence in the art of Kutyapi playing. His extensive repertoire of Dinalayday, Linapu, Minuna, Binalig, and other forms and styles interpreted with refinement and sensitivity fully demonstrate the creative and expressive possibility of his instrument. Ang Kutyapi ay isang two-string lute na ginagamit ng mga Maguindanao. Sa pamamagitan nito, ipinapakita ni Samaon ang malalim na artistry ng Mindanao music at ipinapasa ito sa kanyang komunidad. According to NCCA 2015, the recipients of the Gamaba are sought under the qualification of a manlilikha ng bayan who is a citizen, engaged in any traditional art, uniquely Filipino, whose distinctive skills have reached such as a high level of technical and artistic excellence and have been passed on to and widely practiced by the present generation in his or her community with the same degree of technical and artistic competence. So, malinaw dito, hindi lang dapat mahusay ang isang artist, dapat buhay na buhay din sa kanilang komunidad ang kanilang sining at aktibong na ipapasa sa mga kabataan. So, these artists' practice may fall under the following categories: folk, architecture, maritime transport, weaving, carving, performing arts, literature, graphic and plastic arts, ornament, textile or fiber art, pottery, and other artistic expression of traditional culture. Mapapansin natin na napakalawak ang saklaw ng Gamaba, mula sa pagpapatayo ng bahay, paggawa ng bangka, paghahabi, paglililok, musika, sayaw, hanggang sa palamuti at palayok. Lahat ng ito ay bahagi ng ating pagkakakilanlan ng bilang Pilipino. Ngayon, alamin naman natin kung ano nga ba ang maaari mong matanggap kung ikaw ay nanalo o naging isang Gamaba. Some of the incentive according to the awardee are the following. The first one is a specially designed gold medallion. The second one is the initial grant of 100,000 and a 10,000 monthly stipend for life, which was later increased to 14,000. Number 3, benefits such as a maximum cumulative amount of 750,000 medical and hospitalization benefits. And the last one, funeral assistance or tribute fit for a national living treasure. Kung iisipin natin, malaking tulong ito lalo sa mga artist na galing sa malalayong lugar na walang sapat na suporta. Pinapakita rin nito na pinapahalagahan natin sila ng ating bansa hanggang sa kanilang huling sandali.